Welcome to Everything Explained. I'm your host, and today we're looking at the rise and fall of Yahoo, a company that helped shape the early internet but gradually lost its edge as the web moved in a dozen different directions. It's a story of big bets, glittering acquisitions, and timing that just didn't line up with the world changing underneath. Yahoo began as a simple idea that grew into a phenomenon. In the mid-1990s, it was one of the few places you could go to find almost anything on the web. A directory, a search box, news, games, and a personal homepage all rolled into one. It became a virtual town square for early internet users, a portal through which people entered the online world. In those years, Yahoo didn't just ride the wave of growth, it helped create the wave. It bought and built, expanding its reach with products and services that turned a fast-growing startup into a cultural landmark. But the path from best in show to best left behind was not a single misstep. It was a slow drift. Yahoo's core mistake was trying to be everything for everyone at once. Instead of doubling down on a clear, evolving strategy, it layered on more distractions: a photo-sharing site, a blogging platform, a mail client, a newsfeed, a stock ticker, a games hub, and more. The result? A sprawling, cash-intensive empire that never quite found a single, crisp, revenue-driving core. A major part of Yahoo's decline was how it treated its biggest asset: attention. It built a thriving audience by sheer breadth. People came for email, then stayed for news, then stumbled into a photo site, then logged into a chat client. But when the market started to reward specialization and speed, Yahoo's breadth became a liability. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, the search engine space began to dominate the web's value chain. Yahoo used tech from others for search, and it wasn't long before its rivals pulled ahead. Google's clean, fast results and relentless focus on monetization through ads put Yahoo in a slow lane. There was a famous moment that underscored a broader strategic drift: Yahoo's refusal to buy Google when Google's value seemed obvious. In the early days. More recently, Yahoo tried to reinvent itself by aligning with Microsoft on a search partnership in 2009. That deal gave Yahoo some breath, but it didn't restore its edge. It didn't change the underlying math. If you're not the best at what the internet values most, speed, relevance, and a compelling, monetizable experience, you'll be left behind as others ride the wave forward. Yahoo also massively expanded through acquisitions. It bought GeoCities in 1999 for a lot of money in stock, a bet that the backyard of the web would fuel future growth. It bought Flickr for a cute price of $25 million in 2005, hoping that photo sharing would lock users in. It bought Tumblr for about $1.1 billion in 2013, betting on a younger, more social audience. Each purchase looked smart on a pitch deck, and each one absorbed resources and management attention that could have gone toward improving the core product. But many of these bets didn't translate into durable, cross-sell advantages. The integration work was messy, the monetization was uneven, and by the time investors demanded a sharper engine for growth, Yahoo was scrambling to connect the dots rather than redefining the map. Then there's the leadership piece. Marissa Mayer's tenure as CEO, beginning in 2012, was a high-profile attempt to reinvent Yahoo from within. She poured money into mobile, made bold, but sometimes reckless, hiring decisions, and launched ambitious internal projects. But the momentum didn't translate into sustainable profits or a clear path to market leadership. The company trimmed staff, reshuffled priorities, and still couldn't align its product strategy with the needs of a changing internet landscape. It's easy to admire the ambition, but the hard metric mattered more. User growth stalled, engagement didn't rise fast enough, and the revenue engine didn't sing. Then came the security stain that shook consumer trust. Yahoo disclosed in 2016 that it had suffered massive data breaches years earlier, one affecting about 1 billion accounts, another affecting hundreds of millions more. The breaches weren't just bad news for users, they were a long-term stain on the company's credibility. In an era when trust runs through every business decision, being known as a site where someone's personal information could walk out the door is a heavy price to pay. The final act was the sale to Verizon in 2017 for roughly $4.8 billion. That price tag was a far cry from the high-flying, take-no-prisoners valuations of a decade earlier. Yahoo was still a big brand, but the business fundamentals had weakened, and the market had moved on. Verizon folded Yahoo's assets into its own media strategy, a move that created a new corporate chapter but didn't restore Yahoo to its former glory. The golden era had passed. and the empire that once seemed limitless had to reorient around a different kind of business reality. So, what happened? The short version is timing and focus. Yahoo thrived by being everywhere for everyone. The web, however, rewarded sharp focus, fast, relevant services, and a nimble product team that could pivot on a dime. Yahoo's breadth became a burden as competitors found clearer lanes: Google with search and ads, Facebook with social and engagement, and the mobile era that demanded lightweight, fast, experience-first design. The lesson isn't that Yahoo failed because of one bad decision, it's that, in a fast-changing landscape, you either adapt quickly or you become a museum piece. Yahoo still exists, but as a reminder, big visibility doesn't guarantee lasting value. The internet rewards those who learn to move with momentum, not those who lay down a grand, sprawling map and hope everyone will stay on the path.